Welcome back to the PigSkin Podcast, Season 2. As always, I'm Dalton. This is Sebastian. Please remember, don't feel free. Better fucking do it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with anybody that you think might like it. Even share it with people you don't think would like it. We can be tortured to anybody, dude. I'm fine with that. I torture my girlfriend enough just breathing. So, today, we are finally getting into our predictions for the NFL. We have the Chiefs-Ravens game on right now on the side, so if we both just have a dumbfounded look on our face, and I don't cut it out, just know that we're watching the game.
Crazy.
Yeah, he threw it behind his back or pass it to Kelsey out his poop chute. So, but yeah, this week or on today's episode, we will be previewing NFL Week 1. We will be previewing College Football Week 2. College Football Week 2. Holy shit, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Week 2. Talking about the biggest games for college football calendar this weekend. And then again, just the NFL Week 1. Just super excited. We will get back. You will have the first edition of our dick picks for this year. And are we doing Hotspot Dead Zone today, or is that going to be next week's recap? That'll be next week's recap. So wait for Hotspot Dead Zone. But we made it, man. This is the end around, by the way. End around touch pass to Worthy's kind of nasty, dude.
Football is officially back if it wasn't
fully fucking back, man. We even had a weather delay to start.
Yeah.
They pushed that shit back 20 minutes, man. Oh, my God, we're fully back. The woman hater, Harrison Bucker, just put it between the uprights. So we are finally back. Dude from Florida State still hasn't eaten shit yet. So that's kind of the big thing. We're still waiting on that.
You have 24 hours to respond. Shit eater.
You do have 24 hours
3,
to
2,
respond.
1, Knowles.
Oh, man. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off. I would definitely, if you could guarantee me a title, I'd eat shit. I would. Yeah. I don't give a fuck, dude. I eat plenty of bad food anyways. I just had Wendy's. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and start this off like we always do. Always. We're Oklahoma boys. So first game we're going to talk about, the Cougs coming to Norman. I will be there this weekend to watch Oklahoma take on a bunch of 40-year-old white women that want to hook up with younger guys.
Yeah.
I've been getting those messages. There are single hot moms in my area. So the Houston week is here. The Cougs are here. So, yes, OU is favored by 28. Over-under is 49.5. What are you looking for this weekend, man?
Another win. Just get out clean.
Yeah. Healthy.
Yeah.
Preferably on the offensive line.
Yeah. Let's be real. It's another game where our defense should dominate. Houston's offensive line, kind of trash. Yeah, it's not very good. It's not a Willie Fritz coached team. He is going to have to rebuild a little bit. I thought their defense was fine, but there's only so much that a bunch of 40-year-old women, white women can do on the offense. So
it's tough for them to move the ball. They don't grow up with ball, so it's hard for them to move them. So,
all jokes aside, I expect a win. What's the spread on that?
28.
28?
Yeah.
Seems reasonable. You could smash the Oklahoma to cover that.
Oh,
they
100%.
should anyways. Unless there's just something catastrophic happens. But.
Yeah. Specifically, I'm looking kind of like we said. Obviously, we want the offensive line to, and everybody, not just the offensive line, but everybody to stay healthy. We might get some Nick Anderson today or tomorrow. You'll be seeing this on Friday, so we might get some Nick Anderson tomorrow. Kind of up in the air. You don't necessarily need him. My thought is, if not tomorrow, I think he's back by Tulane to kind of get himself going, and then straight into Tennessee. So, we're stepping up the level of competition each week. Tulane might be the worst team in all of FBS.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad. So, taking that next step up, taking on a Houston team, like Sebastian said, they're not necessarily great, but Willie Fritz hasn't gotten his guys in there. They're going to be a team that's going to be amped up to come in here and play.
And that's one thing. Like they're going to be amped up to play like big time football.
Yeah.
And considering, I think Latrell McCutcheon is on that team too. So he's going to be.
What's his name? There's another former Jamal Morris is also on that team.
Yeah.
Former OU linebacker. So,
they're going to be amped up to play. They're going to be ready to play, but I just don't expect much from Houston. But then again, you never know. It's Willie Fritz. They may have something designed.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier, the offensive line kind of cheeks. I mean, they're not very good, but maybe they clean it up. It usually only, I mean, if it's Willie Fritz, he's a great coach. I'm sure that he can clean it up within a week, but I
Yeah.
just don't expect it to be much better. I mean, they're not as bad as Temple, absolutely not. I think like I mentioned last episode, UNLV is a really good team. I
They have
thought
a
they
really
would be
fun, dynamic offense too. That's the
yeah,
one thing about them is they will put points on you no matter who they're playing.
yeah. So, and I expect them to be a good team this year. So maybe, Houston, they come out, maybe they try to strike early. If anything, if they do put points on the board, it's probably going to be early. They're going to have to catch Oklahoma sleeping, but I don't see that happening. But then again, you just never know. But no,
Right.
I definitely expect Jackson Arnold to have a much better game, and the offensive line too.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's get some 12 personnel out there. All right, let's just run full house too.
Okay,
if
let's
we
get
can.
some 22 personnel out there or 32.
Yeah.
32.
Yeah.
Let's put old Grayson Halton in there at fullback or even up back. Let's run the whole Army offense. But no, don't forget Willie Fritz is the one that brought 2021. He brought a Tulane team that wasn't expected to do a whole lot into Norman, and they only lost by 5. Like that was a dogfight for that entire game. So obviously different regime. That was Lincoln's last year, what have you. But that's a good OU team. They went in there and almost beat in week 1. And so Willie Fritz is a fantastic fucking coach, and it's going to be a dogfight. Like I said, do expect OU to win. Do expect OU to cover. But if you get caught sleepwalking, you could be, face down, ass up pretty quick in that game. So
you need the run game to get going. And it kind of did. I mean, there were moments in the Temple game where the run game was strong. Especially, run the ball more with Jackson Arnold. I do like that. He's athletic. I mean, the kid can run. He's got legs. He's got a superior arm. But, you for sure you don't want to see as many dropped catches either. So, hoping to see Andrew Anthony get out there as well. Is Jake Taylor going to play?
I think the expectation is for Jake Taylor to play.
Okay.
So Spencer Brown can not even dress. Just go home, bud.
Yeah. Well, depending on how Hickman's health is, you could probably just sit him, for this game.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. I don't think he plays for a little while.
Think so?
Maybe till Tennessee. From what I heard is it was a high ankle sprain. But Brent said he's doing remarkably well. So, but Brent Venables talks in fucking code. I swear to God, dude. It's the most, watching his press conferences and trying to get information. Also, I don't know if you saw it. He was not a happy guy. So whatever was going on Tuesday rolling into that press conference, he was pretty fucking pissed off. So he lightened up at the end of it. Really on the Kendall Dobie question, he lightened up a lot. But goddamn, Eric Reed just smashed Justice Hill. But yeah, I'd expect Jake Taylor to play, maybe Nick Anderson. But like I said, if he's not back by Tulane, then I'd start maybe being worried. But yeah, I mean, I would expect.
You don't have to play him at all, depending on how good the defense is.
No, exactly. And I don't expect Branson Hickman. I do expect either Garen Hatchett or Josh Bates to play. I would lean Bates over Hatchett because Hatchett apparently essentially doesn't have a left arm. His left arm's been so beat, if people go that way, he can't stop it. So, and that's not going to heal by playing more football. So, if Josh Bates is your healthiest guy, I expect a heavy workload of Josh Bates. But we'll see. We'll see. Like we said, definitely expect OU to cover. There's not a whole lot in this game. Just get in, get out clean with a win, and move on to Tulane. So, moving on to the biggest games of the weekend. Obviously, you start with big noon kickoff up in Ann Arbor. Texas Longhorns taking on the Michigan Wolverines in the Big House. Texas favored by 7.5 with an over-under of 42.5. I have some thoughts on this, but I'm really curious to see what you have to say.
Well, 7.5 is a lot. And I mean, was that did that change? I mean, like how recently? It was
7 earlier this week.
And now it's just 7. Okay. Wow. Yeah, no, that's a lot. I mean, Michigan's defense is still really good. Like, that's a good Fresno State team that they played. I mean, I think they're pretty well coached.
I think so too.
You know, I went back and watched that game. There are questions about their offensive line, for sure. I mean, you know, that when I kind of tuned in a little bit last week, it seemed that way. They need to get the quarterbacks going, maybe get Orgy on the run game a little bit. They do have issues on their right side that they need to figure out. And I know Texas's offense is dynamic. They have a lot of guys. They can pass the ball. But Michigan, if you go back and watch that game against Fresno State, I mean, their receivers were having to make catches with guys draped all over them. So shout out to Fresno State's receivers. But, I mean, I think Michigan's defense is still really good. It's a new coordinator too. They don't have Jesse Zinter anymore. He's playing. Right. He's the coordinator for the Chargers, so he might throw out different looks. He's got the ability to do that with the guys that he has, you know, up front, and then, you know, a lot of it. They play a zone coverage like they did last year. That's just, I mean, it's almost perfect the way they play their zone coverage. You know, Will Johnson, highly thought of defensive back. He's incredible. He's really good, and I'm sure he's going to be covering multiple guys in that game. There were questions, and a lot of people don't see the full picture with Texas. You lose to Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. I mean, that's a big deal. You're losing. Damn, is that Pacheco?
Yeah, dump off to Pacheco.
Yep.
He really does run like a fucking angry toddler, bro.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
It's like he's stomping on cement. But Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat were incredible at the line of scrimmage for Texas. I like Alfred Collins a lot, and I think he's probably the only guy that they have that can make any sort of noise or movement up front, but I just don't see it with the rest of their guys like Jermaine Lole and all them. You know, I think Michigan, they shouldn't have as much trouble on offense. Maybe it's just week one woes. Steve Sarkisian's going to game plan. I can absolutely see them being able to run the ball and getting a few throws in, and they'll be able to score some points. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think I'm going to take Texas to win. I don't think they're going to win.
They're not going to cover.
I think it's probably going to be by a field goal. I'm going to say like 24 to 21 within that range.
I completely agree with you. I think it's a low scoring game. I'm actually leaning Michigan here. And honestly, honest to God, this is not a hate for Texas or anything, but it's kind of
you can admit that it is. It's fine.
It is, but it's more so I don't think Quinn Ewers is the guy. I haven't seen it. He's a good. It is. He's a good quarterback, but he's not a next level type guy. You know what I mean? I don't see it. Michigan is going to make him fuck up, and they're going to make him have to beat them. And
they're going to throw out disguises, and they're going to throw out different looks. He's going to have to be. He's going to have to be sharp. And they looked sharp last week. He looked very sharp. And it's not a bad Colorado State team, but good God, Texas has some of the they have some of the best talent in the world. Yeah. And that's kind of why I lean a little bit towards Texas, just because of the talent that they have with, you know, Jonte Cook. I thought Ryan Wingo looked good last week, their freshman wide receiver.
I mean,
Isaiah Bond.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So I have questions about their offensive line.
Yeah.
It didn't look great.
That's exactly where I was going. Their run game is going to have to be superior because Michigan,
screens, throwing, you know, getting guys out.
They're going to have to try to do stuff because they're going to have to scheme stuff up to get short yardage stuff to work because Michigan is going to be able to stop their run with 4 guys. They're just way too talented up front, and Texas isn't good enough on the front. Their offensive line is not good enough. They have one guy, I believe, that's a true top end of the draft, next level type guy, and the rest of them are just not that great. Like their right tackle is not that good. No. He's not. And I just don't think Texas has it up front, physicality wise, to stand up with Michigan. And I think the defensive line is going to control the entire game. I do agree with you. I think it's low scoring. Texas is going to score. They're going to. Steve Sarkisian is too good not to score. But it's just, I just don't see them going into the Big House and winning. I said the same thing. They went and beat Alabama last year in Tuscaloosa. They're perfectly capable of doing it. They're very deep.
Well, there's a difference
in the receiver room.
There's a difference, in my opinion, and this is kind of, what we watched last year. Bama's defense got better after South Florida.
Yeah,
like they were good in that game, but South Florida, their offense was not very good in that game. A lot of missed assignments that they kind of got away with in that game, but they gradually got better. Michigan right now, their defense was better than what Alabama was in Tuscaloosa that day. That Quinn Ewers, had that awesome game, and he played great. He is capable of hitting guys wide open. Like he's quick read. As soon as he feels that his receiver's open, he's going to throw it. So he's got that ability. He's got the experience now, but I don't know. I mean, it's a big test for him, but I know Steve Sarkisian, he's so good at scheming things, and he's gonna have a plan going up against that Michigan defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a blowout. I don't think Texas wins by more than 3. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Michigan pulled away with the game because it's in Ann Arbor and how good that defense is. But Michigan's gonna have to create something on offense. They're just gonna have to get going.
That's the thing.
Donovan Edwards too. I mean, he's supposed to be their best back. He's on the cover of the fucking video game. He didn't do shit last week.
Did he have less than 2 or less than 3 yards per carry?
He had 11 touches maybe, 1.9 yards per carry. I don't really know what the game plan was there.
Maybe part of that could be the fact that it's Fresno State and they were fine with it. Obviously, I mean they won 30-10. It wasn't pretty, but I think Michigan is fine. I do think they have some woes in offense. They just have to kind of fight through. But I think
they need to bring back Connor Stallions.
I think they do need to bring back Connor Stallions. Have you watched that documentary though?
Yeah, I did.
Fantastic. It's good. It was good. Didn't give us any new information. It was just explaining what happened.
It was just a guy that was a diehard fan that wrote a manifesto. Funny enough, a manifesto where he didn't kill anybody afterwards.
Yeah. But, he's just
we'll
a hell of a football guy, ultimate football guy.
So. Yeah, I mean, he had a plan. He said, I'm going to bring Michigan a national title, and then I'm going to write a manifesto.
And then he did.
That's what diehard fans do.
That's exactly what they do. I'm actually working on my manifesto right now.
A lot of people were watching the Ravens-Chiefs game. A lot of people were saying that Taylor Swift is the Chiefs' #1 fan. I'm pretty sure it's Chiefsaholic. Yeah. You hear what he did for his team.
You hear what he just got put into?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What he did for his team. That's a diehard fan.
17.5 years.
Yeah.
No probation.
It was crazy. It was worth it. I'm sure.
Oh, it was definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
You got to do. You do anything for your football team.
100%. 100%. Moving on. Next game that I kind of want to get into. Colorado is heading into Lincoln, Nebraska to take on Patrick Mahomes Jr., a.k.a. Dylan Raiola, Matt Rule, and the Cornhuskers. I don't know that there's been this much hype around Nebraska in quite a while, especially after just a splattering of UTEP. But, dude, Dylan Raiola, we talked about it earlier this week. Dylan Raiola looks like the truth, man.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a good game. I mean, you got Shedeur Sanders. He's looked good. I think Nebraska's going to win. Fumble. I think the Chiefs got it. Hold on. Sorry, give me just 1 second. Yep, Chiefs got it.
Fumble. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Was it Chris Jones? Yeah, Chris Jones.
Yeah. Of course it was. Guy's a menace.
Wow.
Anyways, Dylan Raiola is going to have to play the game of his life. It is his biggest game in his career thus far. He's going to have to go out there and he's going to have to prove it because Nebraska is still kind of an unknown. We know their defense is good, but Patrick Mahomes Jr. is going to have to be Patrick Mahomes Jr. He's going to win this game because on the other side you have Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And you've got Shedeur Sanders.
J.C. Horn.
Is this a bigger game for Deion Sanders, or is this a bigger game for Matt Rule?
That's a good question because you can argue after what Nebraska's been through and what happened to them last year that this is their first true test to show that, we're legit. But you also can say the exact same thing for Colorado. I mean, Colorado, they started the season, 4-0 last year. They had all the fucking hype brought into them. They were getting put in the rankings. They just lost every game afterwards.
The stink that follows that team now.
And I think it's bigger for Nebraska. But
because, are they back? Is Nebraska
right.
back?
And that's the reason I say that is I think this is their first true test. But if Colorado comes out and they're flat, I fully expect Nebraska to try to control the game and run the hell out of the ball and suffocate Colorado, because Nebraska's defense is not bad. And their offensive line is way better than Colorado's defensive line. And Colorado, like we talked about earlier in the week, still has a lot of the same issues from last season. And it just doesn't seem. Oh, Pacheco, dude, what the fuck, man? He's on my fantasy team. Podcasting. This is amazing, man. We're so awful. We're doing this without this express written consent of the NFL, by the way. So
that's okay. We're not broadcasting the game, so
we're not. I do think Nebraska wins this game. I do think they suffocate the fuck out of Colorado, and I would not be surprised if the under hits. The over-under is 56.5. I would not be surprised if this game is just a slugfest, at least for the first half. Maybe they get going in the second, but I mean, you could very well talk me into this game being like a 23-20 type game late in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I can also see Nebraska winning by double digits.
That too.
Just considering how big, Nebraska's got some dudes in the trenches. So they got some big dudes up on the line of scrimmage. So I could definitely see that going into, favoring Nebraska. But yeah, we'll see.
So official prediction, Nebraska?
Yeah, I think Nebraska's going to win this game. You
think they cover 7 points?
Or
are you just taking Nebraska to win at this point?
I just think Nebraska is going to win. I mean, we'll see. Dylan Raiola, again, true freshman, going up against, Colorado that has an experienced quarterback and a guy that's probably going to be a top 5 pick in Travis Hunter. So that's going to be tough for their defense to cover. And Jimmy Horn he's a good wide receiver too for Colorado. So they got multiple guys that they got to look out for. The defense does. So
definitely,
I think Nebraska wins. I think it's a dogfight, like you said. I think it potentially could be like a 28-24 game or even like a 31-28 game.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely agree. Next game we want to get into here.
Oh, he dropped it. Okay.
Where is it? Austin. NC State's taking on Tennessee. Is that in Carolina?
That's in Charlotte, so it's at Panther Stadium.
That's right. It's a neutral fucking site.
Yeah. I expect there to be a lot of Tennessee fans there.
I would expect a heavy, heavy dust of Tennessee fans. How have I lost this? Where the fuck did it go, dude? I was just looking at it. I'll let you talk about the game while I try to find it.
What are you looking for? Like the
spread?
Yeah,
there it is. Okay. Tennessee -10, over/under 60.5. Now, NC State came out flat last week, right? Defense kind of had to keep them in that game, and so Grayson McCall on the offense can get good. Weird to think of Grayson McCall not being Coastal Carolina. It sounds gross, but they just really couldn't get it going, and then they got it going, and they ended up winning by 17? The game was not that much of a blowout. It was a lot closer than that.
Yeah, the second half is when NC State kind of came out. It is kind of concerning that their defense gave up that many points.
They lost a lot, though. Yeah. They lost a lot from last year.
That is true. The linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys in the secondary and a lot of transfer guys. So, haven't really played a whole lot together. Haven't had time to really figure things out at game speed. But I think this has a recipe to be kind of like a gotcha game. I mean, I know it's a ranked-on-ranked matchup, but I don't think anyone legitimately expects NC State to win this game. I think they could reach up and they could grab at Tennessee. They could trip them, but there's no way. I don't see Josh Heupel letting this team lose. Nico Iamaleava is just too good. Tennessee's front four is just too good, and they can put points.
Well, I
on
think
anybody.
NC State's better than what we're giving them credit for.
No, I think
Let's
they
calm
are
down.
too. I'm not saying it's a blowout, but I'm just saying I don't think
It also could be a blowout.
it
it could be really bad. So.
But I just don't think. I think NC State will keep themselves in the game, and I think their offense is going to be much better this year or this week. But I just don't think they can do enough. You know what I mean?
You think it's going to be like close, and then in the fourth quarter, Tennessee puts it away and
just kind of pulls away. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think they end up covering. They might win by 13 or something like that, or they might win by 28. But there's going to be a decent amount of that game where you're going to be looking at it like this could go down to the wire.
Well, if Tennessee can run the ball well too, so this could look pretty bad if NC State shows out the way they did in week 1.
Yeah.
But I guess this is going to I was a little bit higher on NC State. I like Grayson McCullough a lot.
Yeah.
All right. That, I had high hopes for him. So, he's going to have to play well. But I don't know, man. I mean, after what we saw from Tennessee, Nico looks great. He is a freshman, though. So, freshman mistakes shouldn't really happen until he starts playing Oklahoma and SEC schedule. But I don't know. I don't really have much thoughts other than the fact that like Tennessee should come away with this pretty easy. All right, Nico. How does Restate say it in the game?
Oh, Iamaleava.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think Tennessee wins. I think they win by double digits. Like in the fourth quarter, they just sneak away and they look, like they should against this team.
Yeah. And I'll get that. Any other games you really had your eye on, or do you want to hop into your sleeper game of the week?
Well, there's a few sleepers. I wouldn't necessarily say they're sleeper games. Obviously, we've got the Iowa rivalry. So Iowa State. Yep, it's gonna be a good game. It's always a good game. That's a heated rivalry, physical. They want to just beat the shit out of each other.
6 of the last 7 have been won by Iowa, and 5 of the last 7 have been the single-digit games.
The Tom Brady and Peyton Manning of college football, that rivalry between Rocco Becht and Cade McNamara. Just everybody thinks the world of those guys. So, entertaining game. Oregon didn't look great last week against Idaho. Dylan Gabriel still had almost 500 yards, so they should be able to score now. I think they're going to win their game.
Throw it 500 times.
What do we think of? Yeah, that's true. But he had a lot of yards. All right, he looked good. He still looks good. So I think Oregon, a team that a lot of people are high on, and they should don't sell your stock yet on Oregon.
Yeah, no.
They should be fine. And they're maybe not as good as last year, but I think their wide receivers are in a really good spot to still produce. I really like Tez Johnson a lot. I think he's kind of a sleeper wide receiver going into this NFL draft coming up. I think he's eligible, and I think he will put his name in the draft. So I like him and Evan Stewart. So
do you think Dylan Gabriel's an upgrade over Bo Nix?
I wouldn't necessarily say that he's an upgrade. He's an efficiency machine.
Yeah,
the guy's he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in college football now. I mean, if you had to lay on the table who would I like to have, like in terms of like, the top quarterbacks in college football, he's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Howard looked good in his Ohio State game, but I'm still taking Dylan Gabriel over Will Howard.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm probably taking him over Quinn Ewers. And, I know Quinn Ewers has a bigger arm, but, I mean, if you're talking about, like, getting the ball out quick, efficient, get the yards, they got to score some points. They got to score some points. So, yeah, Dylan Gabriel, they're fine. Oregon's going to be just fine.
I think so, too. I completely agree.
I can't think of any other games. I know it's kind of like it's not like week 1. I mean, the slate's not as great, but I do like some of the games.
We got Arkansas heading into Stillwater, take on Oklahoma State. I say trap game because I don't think people are really, really high on Arkansas as high as they could be. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. I just saw what you saw just a second ago. A lot of people seem to think this is Sam Pittman's last year as a Razorback. head coach, and I'd honestly probably agree. But I think this has the making for it to be a really, really good game.
No, man, they're
I
gonna
did
embrace the
see,
hog, like you
I
said.
did, they are going to embrace the hog. Speaking of hogs, I did see the Barstool Hog account did report some very, very fortunately unfortunate news that Ollie Gordon is not going to be playing in this game tomorrow because he has chlamydia. It's too much pussy. So that is not a real report. I just want to say that right now.
Well, if it's from Barstool Hog, the only not reliable news source.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want all your football source, you get it from Barstool Hog.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, he can't keep his hog in his pants, so that's what Barstool's going with. But no, in all seriousness, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I do think Oklahoma State wins, but I do think it'll be a good game. My kind of sleeper of the week may not necessarily be a sleeper at all, but I think it's got the makings of being one of the better games of the weekend. Georgia Tech is going up to Syracuse, take on the Orange. Currently favored by 3. You got Colin McCord in Syracuse. You got Georgia Tech, who seems to be rolling hot. I mean, I think it could be a fantastic game. I got a lot of faith in I just like Syracuse. I've always kind of had a soft spot in my heart for the Qs. Maybe it's that mascot, Yankee. But hey man, shut up. All right. Speaking of Yankee, Rizzo made his return to Wrigley this weekend. So tonight, actually, just throwing that out there. But
and the Cubs keep doing the same thing. They either look spot on fantastic or they just look like dog shit.
They throw a no-hitter, get themselves back in the playoff hunt, and then suck shit for the last month of the season. So I don't have any faith in them ever. But so I think Syracuse, Georgia Tech could be a good game. Also got to watch out for Samford. They are rolling into the swamp to take on DJ Lagway in his very first collegiate start. Graham Mertz has had a concussion for the last 5 years. Apparently, it's just been diagnosed. But DJ Lagway
is this an attempt to save the job?
It could be. It could be. I mean, this might be their only shot at a win this season. I think they win more than one game. I think they'll get someone in the middle of the season, but it might get Florida State at the end of the year if things keep trending the way they are. But I mean, in all seriousness, Florida should go in and win this game. It should be dominating, but it'll be fun to see DJ Lagway get his first start.
Yeah, and then if they can somehow win out, Billy Napier doesn't get thrown in the swamp. He saves his job. But DJ Lagway, I mean, I think he's kind of an upgrade, not only talent-wise, but upside. Massive talent upgrade.
Over Graham Mertz?
Yeah.
The poop I took earlier is a massive upgrade over Graham Mertz, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, we shall see.
We definitely shall. I think that's pretty much all the college games that we have to go through. Going to be a fun weekend, like Sebastian was saying. Not a huge weekend. Week 2 is kind of always – you get week 1, everyone's hype, you get a good slate, and then week 2 is kind of like most teams get their sleepwalker. You kind of walk through it, and then we really start getting things going as we step up the last week before conference play, and then once we kick into conference play here in a couple of weeks. So some teams, unfortunately, are 0-2 in conference play after being favored by 10-plus points, and that is the Florida State Seminoles. But they're on a bye this week, so hopefully they don't lose. But I think we're pretty much wrapped up on all the college games. I want to go ahead and move into the NFL. Like we were saying, we are watching the Chiefs-Ravens game on the side, but I do want to take the time, and it's entirely selfish of me. Tomorrow night, the Pack is back. The Green Bay Packers are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Green Bay Packers
can't tweet
are
about
allegedly wearing green.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't get burned a fucking live. The NFL did tell everyone that is going to that game or that is going to be active in that game, whether it's players, coaches, whatever, to pretty much sit on your hands and don't do shit. Don't look at nobody. Don't talk to nobody the entire time you're in Sao Paulo. It's just a crazy thought to me. Look, it's cool to do the international games. It's cool when they go to Germany. It's cool when they go to England. Take this shit to Tokyo, man. If we're going to put all these restrictions on everything, if they're not going to be able to enjoy their time down there, if it's going to be this huge, big issue that everyone's worried about the entire time, you got security up the ass. Like, I just think don't bother, but is what it is. I don't get paid millions of dollars to run I don't get paid millions of dollars to do Roger Goodell's job. So, yeah, I'm just super excited for this weekend. I will get into my prediction later when we get into the dick picks. But just super excited, man. And then obviously we got other games. What are your thoughts on the Packers Eagles?
I think we might be overrating the Packers a little bit. I think so. I mean, we'll see. We haven't seen their wide receivers all play together because one, Christian Watson's always fucking hurt, but he should be playing. I mean, I don't know. Still a very young team. New coordinators for Philly though, and Big Dom is back.
Oh,
Big
that makes
Dom
a difference.
back. Yeah, he's basically like part of their coaching staff apparently now.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's like executive head coach. So big difference. It's interesting to see what the offensive line is going to look like, or what the tush push is going to look like without Jason Kelce.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy that made that thing go.
Yeah. Okay, if you can't run up in his ass, he's not going to be able to run up in Jason Kelce's ass. It's going to be somebody else. I think the Eagles are just so loaded still. Like their talent on offense is still. I mean, I think it outweighs Green Bay's currently. You got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You got Saquon Barkley. The offensive line's still going to be good. At least I think it's going to be. It's going to depend on what the offense looks like now that Brian Johnson's not there anymore. I think it's still going to be a good game. What do you expect from Jordan Love?
I expect him to come out. I don't think he's going to light the world on fire to start. I think the season's going to kind of start as maybe a slow burn, sort of like it did last year. I'm realistic with it, but I do think I want to see him come out, not make the dumb mistakes, just play within the offense because Matt LaFleur is a fantastic offensive play caller. So I just want to see him to continue his progression from last season. So
who's their new defensive coordinator?
Jeff Hafley. He was the head coach of Boston College last year. That is what I'm most excited about in this game. I think the Packers defense is going to be much, much better.
Oh my God, dude, Mahomes. Wow.
Jesus fucking Christ. I do think the Packers
that was supposed to be a sack.
That was supposed to be. That was really supposed to be. That's insane. Oh, there's Taylor Swift. I do think that she does.
Good for Travis.
Fantastic. I'm happy for him. Did you see what came out? The supposed script for them to break up or whatever?
Yeah, that was awesome. Did you see her play design that she drew up?
Yeah, I did. Johnny showed me that one at work.
That's funny.
That's very funny. That was great. Is he wearing Jordans? Fucker. But anyways, I do expect Jeff Hafley to have this defense playing a lot better. They're going to be a lot more aggressive. I just think it's going to be better, but this is just the start to a new era. So I think I want to see the Packers come out and just play sound physical defense. I don't expect anything world changing, but I do expect them to be a lot better. But Philly's favored by 2. Over-under's 49.5. I don't know what your thoughts are. It sounds like you're probably taking Philly to win, I think, is the way that it's going. But I think it's a fantastic start to the season.
Yeah. What happened to just us being Americans and having American pride and keeping the games in America? All right. I know money. I get it. Money. But I'm a patriot, okay? I'm a patriotic American. I don't want to see these games played in Brazil where we have to watch our backs. We have to have security. Oh, you can't have fun. We can't even tweet about the game. I guess that's if you're a verified account. I think Elon had it to where you can't tweet about the game.
Really? I didn't see that.
He put like a restriction. Yeah, I don't know if that was true or not, but I thought I saw that on Twitter earlier. But yeah, you can't enjoy the game. Keep it in America, damn it.
Man. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a fantastic game. I'm just super excited for the season to start. I'm wearing my my green Jordans tomorrow. Bro, that was so early. Can we stop this whole Jawan Taylor shit? This is the issue from last year, bro. They don't call it, and it frustrates
They're gonna wait.
the fuck out of me.
It's always week 1. They never call it. He looks so unathletic, dude. Oh my God.
Next game that we got on the dock, Chicago at Tennessee? No, Tennessee at Chicago, heading into Soldier Field. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you expect from the first regular season start from your boy Caleb Williams? You see, he's getting his number retired. Him and Reggie Bush are getting their numbers retired at USC.
Yep. As they should. That's a tradition in Los Angeles. So I didn't know it was until today.
I didn't know that either. I'm assuming because they're a Heisman winner. Is that why they do it? We build statues, they retire numbers.
Yep.
Okay, so that's why Reggie Bush is doing it now because he just got his Heisman reinstated, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of which, the Heisman House commercial is kind of funny with him coming out of the cryo. It's kind of sick. But anyways, yeah. What are your thoughts on old C-Dub getting his first regular season start as a Bear?
I'm gonna try not to overreact or exaggerate, but I don't see a way that Chicago loses this game. I do think Will Levis is going to be the most improved quarterback. I believe that. I think Will Levis, I was high on him. I like him. The talent's there. Tennessee just has to put it all together. They got to find a way to get more talent around him, which they will. But I think he is going to be improved, even if it's later in the season. But Chicago's defense, really good. A lot of those guys are in their third year now, the ones that Ryan Poles drafted. I think Chicago, they should cover easily, in my opinion.
Yeah.
See, I'm getting my hopes too high, man. I have them going like 11-6 this season. I'm realistic. I'm realistic. I think they're going to lose some games that they should. I think they lose to the Texans and obviously like the 49ers and those teams. But I don't know, man. Tennessee, yeah, they added some pieces and they still have DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to be – that's going to be a tough match for Jalen Johnson. But I want to see how the offensive line performs. That's what I'm most worried about. I'm worried about the offensive line still because I don't think they're great. They're getting better, but like I kind of more on the left side. I want to see what it looks like with Braxton Jones there at left tackle because if it doesn't look good, it's looked decent with him, but if it doesn't look good enough, you got to put the rookie in. It's just got a higher ceiling. I'm interested to see what the run game looks like now. Some of the dump offs to DeAndre Swift, take what the defense gives you, Caleb. You don't have to be the hero. But yeah, I think Chicago wins this game.
Okay. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this just because we're talking about it. Bears-Packers, how do you see that series going this year? Do you think it's a split?
Yes. I think Chicago wins at home, and I think Green Bay wins at home.
Okay. I honestly agree with that. I think this will be the year that I'll spend one Sunday not talking to you and hating you. So we'll get into the next game on the dot. By the way, Chicago favored 3.5.
Yeah.
Get into the next game. Steelers at Falcons. Falcons currently favored 3.5. Over under 41.5. This is all according to the ESPN Sportsbook. Getting Kirk Bangs start his tenure with Atlanta. Obviously, Atlanta has weapons in theory. You got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Bijan. Got a veteran offensive line that was really good in the run game last year. You got a veteran defense with some new pieces. They got Jesse Bates, right? So you got Jesse Bates.
Last year they got him.
Last year. No, they got this dude from Denver that they got.
Oh, Simmons.
Simmons, yeah. They got Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons in their secondary. Like, that's kind of nasty, dude. I think that's insane. Think about that like 3 years ago. Like, that's ridiculous. And I mean, this still is pretty good today.
People forget about Jacoby Jones, man. Guy was a dog.
I know, man.
They're doing his little memorial.
Yeah. Steelers, this is the start of the Russell Wilson era, and maybe the conversion from Russell Wilson to Justin Fields. I don't know how it's going to go. I think they're going to give Russell Wilson a pretty long leash before they start doing anything, unless it gets bad quickly. I don't know that Tomlin has a winning record this year, to be honest with you. I don't think that team's very good.
I think so. I think that it's the Steelers. It's Mike Tomlin. Every year we
that's a hold.
They call
PI. Okay.
This happens every year. We think the Steelers are going to have a losing season under Mike Tomlin. They're going to find a way to win games. The defense is still nasty. Their offensive line stinks. I'll tell you this right now. First couple of weeks, if it doesn't look good with Russell Wilson, George Pickens is not going to like Russell Wilson.
Yeah. No,
From
he's
what we
going
know
to be
about
over it.
Yeah. George Pickens is not going to like Russell Wilson, and he just doesn't seem like a Mike Tomlin guy.
Yeah.
I hope they play Justin Fields. I hope he plays the majority of the season because we get the 4th round pick if that happens. Rooting for Justin Fields. I'll be happy for him if he does play, just depending on how everything looks. I don't think this is as exciting of a game as we think it's going to be with Kirk Cousins being at quarterback for Atlanta. Here's the thing. He had an Achilles injury. He tore his Achilles. Terrible injury, long injury to recover. That's a massive tendon. He's old. He's like he's 35 now, isn't he? 34, 35?
Mid-30s, yeah.
He's going to have to drop back and take snaps. They're going to play shotgun. I mean, they're going to give a variety of things, but like the Steelers' defensive line is still really good. If they get back there, like he's going to have to get the ball out quick. He's not going to be as mobile. I guess before the season starts and before, this game is played, let me ask you this. What happens if he gets hurt again? What if he tears his Achilles? If they put Michael Penix out there and he looks good, that's 2 years guaranteed money.
Well, yeah, the first thing is I think if he goes out there and has another massive injury like that at his age with someone like Penix waiting in the wings, I think it's over for him, at least in Atlanta. But I don't know who's going to pay him that contract coming off back-to-back major injuries. You know what I mean? So,
you think there was some sort of like agreement in his contract?
There could have been some sort of injury clause.
In there.
Yeah, something. But I do think.
Jackson. Go ahead.
I think their offense is going to be upgraded from last year, obviously, because Desmond Ridder just wasn't that guy. Taylor Heineke, the whole thing's just kind of
every time
with.
I think of Desmond Ridder, Arthur Smith.
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's so funny.
He was good in college, though.
He was very good in college, but you can get away with a lot of shit in college, especially 90% of his career, or no, his whole career. They're at the Group of 5 level, so I think they're going to be better. I just don't know that they're going to be that good. I don't buy the people saying that they're going to win the division. I still think it's the Bucs division to lose, and I think the second best team in that division is probably New Orleans.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards Atlanta if everything goes the way it should. I like Raheem Morris. I think he's a great defensive guy. I think he should be a good head coach, but I mean, it is Atlanta, and we know how that goes.
Yeah, they do have a ton of weapons, though. That's the biggest thing that I keep coming back to with Atlanta is Drake London, if Kyle Pitts could be healthy, Bijan Robinson, I think is primed to. He's just so good.
Stud.
I hate that he went to Texas because I'm such a big fan of his. I love Bijan so much.
Yeah,
dude. I love good running backs, and I love Bijan.
Yeah, guy's a stud. Man.
So fucking good. He's a good dude too. That's the biggest part about it. He seems like a really great guy. But I don't know. I see Atlanta winning this. I honestly would probably pick Atlanta to cover 3.5. I just don't think Pittsburgh's going to be that good. I get the whole thing. Mike Tomlin's never missed the playoffs. He's got that system, got that culture geared to go for them, or not never missed the playoffs, but never.
Well, and that's going to be the thing too. Is they're going to find a way to make the playoffs. They're going to win, 9 or 10 games. They're going to win some games that they shouldn't. Maybe even lose a couple of games. I think they're going to be the worst team in the division. We'll see, and that's the problem. Is if they make the playoff, they haven't won a playoff game since 2016. I mean, it's been the same thing over and over, and Steelers fans they're well aware of that. They're going to make the playoffs and lose to a superior opponent like a Josh Allen Bills or a Patrick Mahomes or any of those good AFC teams that they'd even lose to the Texans. So I think they're kind of ready to see what they've got in Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ends up playing earlier than expected. I'm sure they're gonna want Russell Wilson to be good though. I think they want to keep that 4th round pick.
Yeah.
Because Chicago will get 6th, but
there's also that thing in the back of my mind though. Like I know you don't want to give up that 4th round pick, huh?
I said, well, in Steelers fans, they're gonna be restless.
That's that.
George Pickens is gonna be pissed.
If a change of scenery is what Justin Fields needed, that 4th round pick is invaluable. You know what I mean? He would be, because I still think Justin Fields can be good. I think he's got a lot of issues he needs to work out. A lot of mainly just inconsistencies because he's got the arm talent, he's got the mobility. I think his IQ isn't fully there, and I think he really just needs to hammer down the details. But I
I
think
don't
he
think
could
it's
be
an
that guy.
I don't really know if it's an IQ issue as much as like trusting his arm. I
It
don't know
might be more of
why.
what it is.
He throws a pretty deep ball.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
This is kind of how I've always seen it with Justin Fields. The talent's there. He's got NFL talent. I mean, he's got
100%.
God-gifted abilities that just a lot of people on this earth don't have.
5-star for a
But
reason.
when you watch certain guys throw the football, the release, how quick it gets out of their hands, like Caleb Williams, Jackson Arnold, Baker Mayfield, even Nico, like just some of the guys you watch. I mean, it's quick. Hell, even Quinn Ewers when he does the RPO pop pass, or when he's doing some of the play action stuff, it just comes out so quick. With Justin Fields, he like winds his arm. I mean, it just
Yeah.
It's almost like it takes 3 seconds for him to throw the ball.
It reminds me a lot of like a pitcher.
Yeah.
It's kind of slow and methodical. Patrick Mahomes kind of had that issue when he was younger. He got it, and Cliff Kingsbury helped him turn it take it from a pitch to a throw. You know what I mean? And I think Justin Fields has never had that. I do see what you're talking about when I do watch him play. It does feel like a windup when he's throwing the ball.
He can still get it there, though. I mean, he can get it there. The he's got elite arm talent. He just has to work on that release point.
For sure.
But I think the Steelers are gonna. They're not gonna win this game. I agree with you with Atlanta probably winning this game. It's just I'm interested to see what Atlanta's defense looks like now with Raheem Morris.
100%. I think we spent a lot of time on this game. It's the fucking Steelers and the Falcons.
Yeah, I know the game that we're
literally like I don't think we need to really talk about this one. Yeah, just because football's back, baby.
Well, the storylines too,
Yeah, there are a lot of fun ones, especially for you being a fucking former or a Bears fan and former Justin Fields. But whatever. Next game, you got the Cardinals going into Orchard Park to take on the Bills. Bills favored by 6.5 here. Over-under is 47.5. I think the Bills have gotten worse and the Cardinals have gotten better. And I think this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really close game. The whole thing with Buffalo, everyone talks about them losing all their receivers and having pretty much a brand new receiving core. I think their defense wasn't that great last year. They've only gotten older and worse, in my opinion. I think Cardinals are kind of up and coming. We get a healthy Kyler Murray. We get Marvin Harrison. They've been building that or attempting to build an offensive line. Should have a healthy James Conner. I think the Cardinals are going to be better. I would kind of be surprised if the Cardinals won. I wouldn't be shocked, but it'd be a little bit of me that didn't expect that. But I do expect a really good game.
Yeah, I expect this to be a good game too. Two, great quarterbacks. It's fascinating that you say that the Bills, you think they've gotten worse. To be honest, I think they're still the same. I don't think there's really much of a difference. If not, they've gotten better and a little bit younger in areas. They get Matt Milano back, which they didn't have last year. He got hurt. Trey White, you lose Trey White. Well, he was never available. The guy was, he tore his ACL, I don't know, 5 times. I mean, he was never healthy. Spawn Diggs, didn't show up in the last, 9 games of the season. It just didn't look great. They've gotten younger. Keon Coleman, he's going to struggle a little bit his rookie year. He's got a high ceiling, though. He definitely wants to improve and get better. I think the Bills they're still going to be a good team, personally. Well, as long as you have a Josh Allen on the field, like you're going to be a contender. You're going to be able to compete. Wow. Is it over for Justin Tucker?
That fucker.
Wow. He missed a 53-yarder. He's getting older.
He is.
That's crazy. The sideline warm-ups, they don't hit like they used to.
He's on my fantasy team. God damn it.
That sucks. Well,
yeah. I'm going to go DM him like everyone was DMing Braylon Allen. So,
excuse me. I think Arizona got better. I think they'll be a good team this year. Marvin Harrison is going to be a big addition for Kyler. I think this is. I agree with you. It's going to be a great game. It's in Buffalo too, and the fans are going to be excited. How many tables are going to be broken?
As many as they can find.
Mm-hmm. Did you? I love the video of the baby. Have you seen like the Bills Mafia baptism? The guy that like was baptizing his baby gave him like a breakable table. They call it
That's hilarious.
The Bills Mafia baptism. It was like 2 years ago when it came out, but that's like my favorite video. Bills fans are the best. I want to go to a Bills game one day.
Those games would be sick.
Hang out with those guys.
You know what else would be sick? Going to like a Penn State game. Not just because I'm a Penn State guy, but going to Whiteout and Happy Valley would be sick, man.
Gross. Fuck Penn State.
So you take a Buffalo to win though?
We'll see. We'll get into that later. Let's go to the next game.
All right, next game. Patriots heading into Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
What do we know about Jamar Chase?
Oh fuck! I saw an update on this earlier, and I can't remember what it said. You talk about the game. I'm trying to find it.
There's really not much to talk about. I mean, unless. All right, I got a crazy take. The Pats are starting the wrong guy at QB. Maybe that's not so much of a crazy take. They should be starting Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
They have to start Drake May. They have to see what they have in the kid. You drafted him. Who cares if the team stinks? It's a rebuild. We know it's a rebuild. But the offensive line should still be good. The defense should still be good. Well, they got rid of Matthew Judon, but that shouldn't matter. They still have other pieces. So they should be fine. Cincinnati, I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Bengals this season because Joe Burrow got hurt. You didn't really get to see him. You can't count out the Bengals, man. Just depends on what happens with Jamar Chase. They got bigger up front, though. Their offensive line. They got Armarius Smith from Georgia at right tackle. You still keep Orlando Brown, so they should be able to protect. Interception. Already off the bat, Roquan Smith. Wow. Missed field goal doesn't matter.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Damn it. Did I have
Patrick
Mahomes not throwing an
washed?
interception? Are you fucking kidding me?
Is he washed?
Yes.
Is it over with?
Yeah.
How
Take
crazy?
Do
Do you think they can three-peat?
No.
That's a.
I think they certainly can. I don't think it happens.
Would they be the greatest dynasty? Would they outrank the Patriots dynasty if they can three-peat?
I think first you got to outrank Patty Gasso. She's getting her statue tomorrow.
Football
That's
dynasty.
the greatest dynasty.
Football dynasty.
I think if they three-peated, yeah, they would be.
Okay.
I don't think it happens, but they would be.
Why do you not think it happens?
I just
don't say it's too hard. You gotta tell me. You gotta give me a reason. Actually, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that next week. I'm gonna have you explain to me in like a 10 or 15-minute segment why you think they can't three-peat. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Patriots versus the Bengals. They should be starting Drake May. That's just that's my hot take that they're starting the wrong guy at QB. You got to know what you have in Drake May. He's got to play the full season, in my opinion. Or Joe Milton. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe they should be starting Joe Milton.
I don't know, man. He looked pretty fucking nice.
Yeah, the Joe Milton experience. Tennessee fans will tell you all about that. Don't sleep on the Bengals. I think they're still a Super Bowl contender as long as you have Joe Burrow on the field. So I really don't have much on this game, to be honest.
I don't either.
8.5 is a crazy spread, though. But I mean, it makes sense for how bad the Patriots were and how bad we think they're going to be. What are we thinking? Like 4 wins, 4 or 5? Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to be that good, man. I seriously don't.
Next game.
Next game we have. This is going to be an exciting one. Anthony Richardson's return. We have Texans at Colts and Lucas Oil. I think. Like CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, I think it's going to be great. Like Anthony Richardson has only played, I think I saw 17 games since high school.
15 starts.
Yeah. So, look, I think he's.
No, 17. You're at 17.
I think he's good. I don't know that he's all that, but I think he'll be fine. But I'm really excited to see CJ Stroud and the Texans in year 2. Like I think they're going to be fantastic. It's just going to be great.
At first, I was high on the Colts, and you have brought me down. And now I kind of agree with you. I don't think I'm as high on them as I was at the beginning of the season, just because I don't know what it's going to look like with Anthony Richardson.
For sure.
I agree with you. We don't know how good of a quarterback he is. He's got Shane Steichen for a head coach, and their wide receiver core got better. I mean, they kept some of the guys, and they added Adonai Mitchell, so they should be fine. Mm-hmm. Their offense, if everything gels for Anthony Richardson, should be dangerous with, having the three-headed monster at running back. Well, maybe it's not much of a three-headed monster, but I think you've got Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon, who are both really good running backs. Mm-hmm. They do have Joe Flacco. We can't forget about that. So if things don't go well with Anthony Richardson, if he gets hurt again, you got security with Joe Flacco. He's elite, by the way. I don't know if you've heard that enough.
Joe Flacco is elite. He is elite.
I also don't know what it's going to look like with the Texans. I mean, we're super high on the Texans because they did get more mature. They added a good running back. They added a great pass rusher. They should be great. I have to see it with C.J. Stroud, though. Like, I do. I have to see that it's not going to be a sophomore slump. He only threw 23 touchdowns last year. You know that, right?
Yeah. I mean, they really turned it on there at the end of the year, but it's not like it was, like, insane. But that's kind of what I'm excited for. I want to see them in year 2 do it. You know what I mean?
I guess I have to see it to believe it. I still think the Texans can be a good team, but I'm not, like, incredibly high on them. I was after all the trade acquisitions they made, but I kind of had to bring myself down to earth a little bit.
I think the Stephon Diggs acquisition is being a little bit overblown.
Yeah.
I don't think it's everything. I think it's good, but
I like diva receivers. I think there needs to be more diva receivers. Like, hey, throw me the ball. Like, I'm all about that. Like, you can bitch and moan. That just means you care and you want the ball. But
I do like the Damon Pierce and Joe Mixon tandem in the backfield, though.
Cam Akers.
They have Cam Akers, too?
Yeah, they have Cam Akers.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah. But they run more of a zone scheme now. And Damon Pierce is much of a gap. He's more of a gap scheme type of running back. That's why his production fell off a lot, and that's why Devin Singletary was the better running back. Yeah. They got bigger on the offensive line. They're able to run some of those zone schemes. But having Joe Mixon is a big help because he's a receiving threat in the backfield. So, C.J. Stroud can take what the defense gives him and not be afraid to have those checkdowns. But I don't know, man. I know a lot of people are high on the Texans. We'll see. I'm also just not as high.
Fantastic.
I'm not as high on the Colts as I was. I was a lot higher on them. I even had them potentially winning the division, like at the beginning before football started, but I brought myself down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
Lamar, what are you, dude?
I legitimately expect a lot out of the Texans. I think they're going to be really. What the fuck was that? I think they're going to be pretty fucking good, but you never know. You never truly know. That's the beauty about the NFL. I'm not that high on the Colts. I'm really not. They're going to have to prove it to me. You know what I mean? So,
let's just
next game.
How about we just kind of like rapid fire power through the rest of these real quick?
Yeah, for sure. This is running long.
Which I don't care if it runs long. I just want to watch the rest of this game.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we have Jags Dolphins in Miami. Miami 3.5 over under 48.5. I'm gonna take Miami. I think their offense is just elite.
Hold on, before you start doing that, we got our dick pics. So don't be. I mean, if you want to, I mean, you can tell me what your dick pics are, and I'm just I'll give you mine. But I'll tell you this.
I mean, it's
Mike
not
McDaniel,
one of my. It's not one of my dick pics. It's just my thoughts on the game.
Well, Mike McDaniel. Doesn't it feel like he kind of has to win a playoff game this year?
I think so.
Their offense is going to be dynamic. They also did pay Tua all that money. They gave him a 4-year contract, 200
for sure
something million. So it feels like they kind of have to win a playoff game. If they don't, his seat starts kind of warming up because he's a fantastic, like offensive, like his offense is like one of the most fun to watch. They do so many things that are just. Like not a lot of people can do.
They especially when you have motion.
Well, when you have the guys that they have, it makes sense. But
what do you think about the Jags this year?
I don't know. I think they're a playoff team, but I have to see it to believe it with Trevor Lawrence. Got all the tools. It's like what everybody says.
Maybe the shittiest game of the week. Well, there's a couple of them, but Panthers at Saints.
Not going to be able to drive with no car.
Yeah, can't drive with no car. let's be honest, the Saints might not be able to drive with Carr in the backfield calling the shots.
Yeah.
So it might be a rough
I think
one
the
there.
Panthers are going to be a little bit better. I
think so,
don't.
too. It's hard to be worse.
We're definitely going to get to settle the debate. Was it Dave Canales or was it Baker?
Yeah.
So, or maybe it was both. You know.
I think it was
Why can't we say? I mean, we can't say that because it's not a fun storyline.
It's not. I do think it was
Canales. Did you ever hear about his book that he wrote?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
It's very funny. It's very funny. Next game we got here, Vikings at Giants. Vikings actually favored in this one. Daniel Jones versus Sam Darnold. This is a 2018. Is it 2018, 2019? I don't know when the fuck it would have been, but this is a Giants-Jets rematch from fucking hell, dude.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be fun. At least you can watch Jay Jettas.
Yeah. You don't Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors. I don't think Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is fantastic. I just think he's up shit's creek out of the paddle with Daniel Jones throwing the ball.
I can't wait to watch Daniel Jones play football.
No fun.
And Sam Darnold. That's what makes football fun. If this ends up, it might end up being a better game than we think it's going to. Again, I will always take bad football over no football.
100%. 100%. Tuesday in action is better than anything else on this planet. I don't give a fuck what you say. We got Jim Harbaugh. It's Jim, right? Jim Harbaugh. I get the two confused sometimes. Oh, John Harbaugh's coaching right now. Jim Harbaugh's Chargers debut against the Raiders in SoFi. Really excited to see that 6'6", 300-pound ginger the Chargers have playing. They say defensive tackle. He's actually just a fullback. They're just lying to you. Lamar, what are you doing?
He's fullback. Low man wins.
Low man wins. Low man wins. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited to see what Jim Harbaugh does with the Chargers.
Should take notes on this game if they use him at fullback.
I still think Kobe McKenzie should get in there and play fullback for the
Jaren Kanak, bro.
But Jaren too. Kobe's just so much bigger. Fuck it. At this point, put Michael Boganowski's ass out there. Just let him start blowing people up.
He's a little slimmer.
But
I want a thick guy out there.
He's a headhunter, though.
Yeah.
I think this will be a fun game. Devontae Adams back. Is it Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell?
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner.
Minshew
Best backup in the league, baby. Minshew mania. That's the first of the afternoon slate. Next game, we got Bo Nix's debut taking on the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Seahawks are wearing their throwbacks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're wearing the silver helmets, and I don't know what they're called, but they're wearing the throwbacks, the Steve Largent era.
Yes.
So that'll be fun to watch.
You can't tell the story of football without Steve Largent.
Exactly. DK Metcalf, they've said he's gotten a lot better, a lot faster. Tyler Lockett's still the most consistent receiver in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. I think
nasty.
Yeah, defenses are going to be nasty.
Mike McDaniel's going to have a lot of fun. Mike McDonald, I'm sorry, the new head coach.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that. I think it's going to be a great game. Seattle favored by 6, over under 41.5.
Sean Payton's going to have an aneurysm when Bo Nix throws his first, Bo
Nix ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait. Yeah. You're going to watch Sean Payton just lose his fucking mind on the sidelines like Kevin James did in that shitty movie they did where he coached football.
I forgot about that movie. Hey, he's not going to do what Brian Kelly did, though, with the performance of the slamming on the table. It's always the same thing. He's going to say that with Bo Nix.
Man, moving on. We have, in this game, America's Game of the Week, 3:25 kick on Fox. We have Tom Brady's debut in the booth. Oh, it's going to be annoying. You're going to be up in that box, dude. Not Giselle's box. Not Giselle's.
Box.
It needs to be pounding that box, dude. Yep. We got the Dallas Cowboys heading up to Cleveland, take on the Browns. Still don't think Deshaun Watson is worth a shit anymore. Dallas is one of the best defenses.
They've got to make the NFC Championship, right?
They have to.
He's on the hot seat.
Have to.
He's on the hot seat.
You could argue that if they don't do that this year, he's gone. You could argue Jerry Jones wants them to tank. He's gone. They bring in Dion and Shador, and then still suck shit. So
that's an interesting take. I don't know. Jerry Jones, obviously the everything that happened with Jimmy Johnson and their departure, their divorce. He's been kind of a loyal guy. He kept Jason Garrett around for a long time, so
yeah,
he could keep Mike McCarthy around. CeeDee Lamb getting paid. Expect him be a touchdown scorer.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be a fun game. Two of the best defenses in the NFL. Cleveland is favored by 2.5. Over under is 40.5. I think it'll be a fun game though. Next game, Washington Commanders take on Baker and the Bucks in Raymond James down in Tampa. Expecting some rain in that one. I think this is the quest for the Bucks to go win the division again. I think Baker is just going to come out and be better. I think him on that team, they're just getting gelled together. They're going to be a lot better together. I think they have a lot of weapons on the offense. I think the defense kind of needs to button some things down. They have some changes.
Still have a very secondary game.
I am too.
I can't wait to watch Baker versus
Jaden Daniels. Gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fun game. I'm really excited for it. I didn't get to see a whole lot of Jaden Daniels in the preseason, so I'm really excited to see him play.
I think that team's gonna be a lot better with Dan Quinn as their head coach. They've added some pieces, older pieces, but yeah, they should be fine.
I do agree.
Best game of the weekend.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football, Rams at Lions. This is Matt Stafford going back to Detroit to play again. Remember, they did play in the playoffs last year, but this is Matt Stafford going back.
Probably gonna be a tribute video now.
I think so. Now that it's not the playoffs, I think so. Be a fun game. I still love Matt Stafford. I mean, I always did when he was in Detroit. I thought he was a fantastic quarterback. He's fun to watch. But everyone is a lot of what I've seen is the Lions are expected to win the North this year. Obviously, I think the Packers will. I think the Bears make a pretty good case for it. I don't know that the Bears are there. I think it's Packers, Lions, Bears, and then Minnesota is just falling off the back of the truck. But this will be a fun game. I mean, this is a fantastic Sunday Night Football game to start the season. I'm super excited for this one.
I think the Rams are going to have the best offensive line in football.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think the Rams need to call Drake Stoops up and let him fucking just run buck wild in Detroit.
See what happens with Cooper Kupp if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Ooh. Also, 35-1 odds. Matthew Stafford MVP.
Not a bad bet.
I think that's a great bet. Never even been considered. He's never been considered for the MVP. Never even had a vote.
It's like the whole Drew Brees thing.
I can definitely see it happening.
But I think it's a fun bet.
I like storylines, so I like Matthew Stafford in the MVP conversation.
For sure. Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers makes his return. He's coming out of the darkness off the Achilles injury. And the Jets with, again, one of the best defenses in the league from last year, taking on the NFC champions, the San Francisco 49ers with Brock Purdy, Debo, Brandon Ayuk under a new contract, George Kittle, all the guys they got in the backfield, CMC. CMC did have a calf issue that was listed on the injury report. I do think he plays. It's a great Monday Night Football game. I mean,
I just don't know how good the 49ers are going to be. Well, they did re-sign Trent Williams, so that helps their offensive line that I have questions about. So
I'm still not too sold on Purdy, man. I'm not. I think he's a good quarterback.
I cannot wait for the contract talks.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
What do you think Dak gets? I mean, I know we talked about this game just a minute ago, but we're talking about contract talks. Dak's kind of the next big one, right? You got to pay Dak, right?
Yeah. I mean,
after watching how bad Trey Lance was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I feel bad for Trey Lance, but
I do too.
We'll see what ends up happening there. I mean, at this point, I feel like you have to pay Dak, but you gotta let some guys go if that happens. If you have to pay him, maybe
kind of pay him and CD. You gotta sacrifice someone.
Zach Martin had that big contract last year too.
He did.
So, should be a fun game.
I think it'll be a fun close to week 1. But now, this is what you have all been waiting for. Week 1, NFL Dick Picks on the PigSkin podcast. first game up, obviously we can't pick Kansas City, Baltimore, because that's happening right now. But the Brazil game, Packers, Philly, Green Bay, or Philly is favored by 2.5, over under 49.5. I'm taking the Packers to win this one. All right.
Just outright.
All right.
So money line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams to cover.
To cover. Okay. My next one, I have the under in Dallas, Cleveland.
Okay.
The under again at 40.5.
I'm going to take the over in the Dolphins-Jaguars game.
Okay. My next one, I think Cincinnati's going to cover 8.5 against New England.
Cincinnati cover 8.5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Giants. I'm going to take Chicago to cover. Chicago minus 3.5.
See my next one. I'm gonna take Arizona to cover 6.5 against Buffalo.
I was going to take that one. It was a good one. I'm going to take the. I'm an overs guy.
You are.
Love the over. I'm going to take the under in Houston Colts.
Okay. And then my last dick pick of the week, I'm taking the under in Jets Niners on Monday night, 43.5.
Okay.
Jets Niners, I'm taking the under.
Okay. I see. I'm going to take the over in Washington, Tampa Bay. That's going to come back to that is. I'm not in love with that one, but I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
42.5.
Okay.
That one's going to come back to bite me. I can just see it happening.
I can see it happening. I don't know that they put up enough points.
The only one that I'm really confident in, or the only two are the ones where I'm taking the covers. I'm taking the Rams plus 4.5 and Chicago minus 3.5.
Yeah.
I like the over in the Jags Dolphins game. But the last two, that under in the Texans game, over in the Tampa Bay game.
Man, feels good to be back, doesn't it?
I know.
It feels so good to be back, man.
Can't wait to lose money. Can't wait to just sit down. Well, okay, this weekend, doing some moving. I'm not going to be able to really watch college football. I'll try to go back and watch it. So when we record again, you just kind of tell me what you saw.
Yep.
But I should be able to sit down and enjoy NFL Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing homework most of Sunday, but I'm going to have.
Beautiful bastard. We're so happy you're back.
Football!
Yeah.
Football! I'm going to have Red Zone pulled off my second monitor, just banging out homework all day Sunday, recovering from the hangover that will be OU Houston. But recovering from all those Cougs, man. All those Cougs. But, yeah, just super excited. Football is finally fully back. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Enjoy the weekend, but I don't know. Just let's
get it, man.
Yeah.
So please remember, as always, like, comment, subscribe. It's not an option. I will kill you if you don't. So share it with friends and family.
Leave that in.
No, don't leave it in. I don't give a fuck. What are you gonna do? Find me?
Yeah. You say whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. No one gets this far anyways. But this is episode 4 of the Pigskin Podcast, season 2. But yeah, let's just enjoy football and we'll see you.